deeply ill the following morning, they were horrified to find that their milk supply had disappeared, but glad to discover that the witch had been turned to stone. They then placed other stones in a circle round her in order to make sure that she would never escape. This story is preserved in stone in nearby Middleton Church, where a former vicar illustrated the legend in a series of carvings in the chancel. Another version of the legend is that the magical cow was owned by a giant, and that the cow gave as much milk as was demanded until the old crone Mitchell tried to milk her into a riddle, with the result that the cow ceased to yield her usual supply and wandered into Warwickshire. Charlotte Byrne, the 19th century Shropshire folklorist, described the cow as a fairy cow who was beautifully white. She said that the witch Mitchell was a bad old woman who did a great deal of harm and had a spite against everybody. The old woman milked the cow dry, and the cow was never the same again. It was said to have run off to Warwick like a crazy thing, and turned into the wild dun cow that Guy, Earl of Warwick, killed. Miss Byrne added that the witch was then turned into stone, and the place became known as Mitchell's Fold. However, despite the legend, Miss Byrne pointed out that fold in Shropshire meant a farmyard. In that case, Mitchell might have been the name of the owner of the wondrous cow, and Mitchell's Fold the farmyard which he milked her. So yeah, that was an interesting story. The Legend of Mitchell's Fold. This is a folklore tale that I've never heard before, and I found it really interesting. Reading it to you now. Definitely something I'll be reading again to myself at some point in the future, because yeah, it's always really good learning about